You hear that music, you know it's time for Rob Bradford. Baseball isn't boring. And weei.com. I saw there's some new swag from Baseball isn't boring. Some new hats there, Keefe.
Nice.
They pop.
Do they come in extra large?
They look real nice. Yeah, you're going to need it for that dome of yours over there.
Yeah.
Bradfo brought to you by McFarland Energy, the heating, cooling, and bioheat delivery pros that Eastern Mass and all of Cape Cod depend on. McFarlandEnergy.com. What's up, Bradfo?
Oh, my goodness. McFarland to you both. It's so good to talk to you. And if you want a hat, just message me, and we'll make that happen.
Right, I want a hat. Are you talking to us, or are you talking to the listeners out there?
Yeah, message?
We want hats. Yeah, we're telling you right now.
Do I?
Yeah.
No, you guys have to go through the formal process. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Apply for a hat.
Yeah, so it is amazing that, going through airports, sick brag, bro. I know.
Yeah, nice.
Going through airports, you wear that hat, man. It just sparks up the conversation about the great game of baseball.
Yeah, look.
I do have a question, because I just get off the flight late last night, and if you have the middle seat of a long plane ride, who gets the armrest?
I take both. If I'm in the middle
seat guy, that's
I take
you.
both.
Yeah, you get those.
Yeah, it's survival.
Okay.
You get those because the other guys get their one to the right, one to the left. Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Spread your legs as wide as you can and put your both elbows on the armrest.
And if you have your choice, what seat do you go for?
Window.
Yeah.
I used to be an aisle guy, but then I when people are like, "Oh, I got to go to the bathroom 3 times on a 2-hour flight," you're like, "What?"
I don't mind middle. I don't mind middle.
I'll
spread. Because I like
this
both.
This
I like
explains
both
a lot, by the way.
I like both armrests. Now,
No,
look,
you're middle, but you're not. Let's say you're with 2 strangers. You're not with
I'm
your
not
wife
with
and
my
kid.
family.
No.
Oh. Yeah.
Middle with 2 strangers is an outrageous
Probably
take.
more window, but like with my family, I always fly in the middle seat. Doesn't bother me one bit.
middle.
Yeah, I don't. Doesn't bother me one bit.
That is a psycho move.
That is the worst. That is maybe the worst take of all time.
All right. Well, you know what,
That's
Bradfo?
his hottest take.
Bradfo,
Give me the middle seat on a plane.
They can't all be winners.
No.
All I know, I hope we're not let down by these hats. We've been promised hats before, so I hope we're not. I hope we're not
true.
let down
You have?
by the hats here.
Not by you.
Not by you,
Not by
Bradfo.
you.
We've been promised hats before,
no.
and we've been let down. Keefe has a good conspiracy theory on Chapman. Not even conspiracy theory, but just take on Chapman. Maybe not as hot. Maybe not as hot as the middle seat.
This is good, Brad.
Tell Bradfo your take.
Yeah, I didn't want him going into the playoffs with like 100 consecutive scoreless innings. I thought it was good to sort of break this up a little bit.
What is this? This is like the Patriots season, right?
Well, yes and no. I mean, the Patriots, they were chasing history. Chapman was just on like an unbelievable heater. He had given up runs earlier in the season, but it was just every time you saw him, they were like, hasn't given up a hit, hasn't given up a run. His ERA is under 1. You're like, oh my God. Like, I just had fears of game 1 of the playoffs. Chapman's in there, and the announcers are going on and on and on about this streak, and then boom, he serves up a homer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that first of all, there has to be a name for this theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has, because I've heard it before for different things, like you said, the Patriots. But Chapman, the biggest thing isn't fine if he goes on a run into the playoffs, but I'm with you, kind of. It was going to happen at some point. If it happens in the playoffs, it's the ultimate sad trombone. And you know how I know this, because you go back to last year, thou who shall not be named in the offices of the commissioner, Emmanuel Clase. Emmanuel Clase, I mean, I think he finished 3rd in Cy Young.
He was nasty until he wasn't.
Keith's got the T-shirt jersey.
I got not a T-shirt jersey, a real jersey.
Oh, I'm sorry, real
I got
jersey.
it in Cleveland. Giveaway. Yeah, I was at a Cleveland game where that was like the pregame like giveaway. It's awesome.
Like,
I don't think they're gonna have another one of those.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
Maybe I can return it for like a Jose Ramirez.
But people forget how unbelievable he was. I think he was like 3rd in Cy Young or something like that, and then he was just awful in the playoffs. So I think what you have to avoid with Chapman, and this is the obvious thing, is that you have to make sure that his stuff is still good. He mentioned after that game in Arizona, oh, my velocity was down. I had to figure out a different way to do it. Well, you got to find a way to get that velocity back. You have to find a way to make sure that he is right. And this goes with Crochet. This goes with all these pitchers. It becomes an area where it's the unknown, it's uncharted territory, really. I mean, we could talk about Crochet. I did an exercise the other day with comparing him to Zach Gallen on September 8th. They both compared to Zach Gallen.
Yeah.
I love exercise. I love innings total exercises. 2023, Zach Gallen ended up pitching, I think, 243 innings. And on September 8th in 2023, he had the exact same number, almost the exact same number of pitches in innings that Crochet does now. My point is that if you are going to make a long run, there's a long way to go for all these guys. So you got to make sure they're right.
You ever work with Michael G? The Michael G theory? Is that what we should call it?
Ooh, Michael. No. Well, no, Michael Gee.
Oh, was it Gee?
Jones had a hard time with pronunciations. He was calling.
It's not Don Ace.
No,
it's not Don Ace.
No. Did you say Don Ace?
Yeah, I said Don Ace. Michael Gee? You ever work with him at the Herald?
Yeah, I remember Michael Gee. Yeah, sure.
We call it his theory. It was what we call that.
We don't have to.
The Keefe corollary.
Yeah, Keefe corollary.
So the Michael Gee.
Oh,
theory.
I do like the Keefe corollary. Yes.
What's the plan with Payton Tolle? They've started to load up on the fastball. He's gotten hit a little bit in the last couple of outings. Is he ideally for this team this year, not long term? This team this year, number 4 starter, high leverage bullpen guy. Is he on the playoff roster? What's the fit?
I think he's going to get another chance to start. I think that's the plan going forward. That this was sort of not an aberration, but not what they're going to do. They're going to go forward and they're going to give him a start, and they're going to hope that he's good because they need him to start. This is, as we said before, this isn't a luxury item. That Payton Tolle, they need to find a 4th starter, they need to find a 5th starter, and they need Payton Tolle to be kind of good because they don't have a lot of other options. Now, Conley early, great, unbelievable, awesome. But still, it's like we're putting cart before the horse a little bit if you think that he is the no doubt about it guy. Same thing with Payton Tolle. We've already seen this, that you're going to have to adjust. The first time out is different than the second time out. That Payton Tolle thing in Arizona was the ultimate lesson for any young pitcher. Because Arizona, just talking to the Arizona people before the game and then after the game, they're like, we just cranked up the trajectory machine to 100 miles an hour, and we just sat on his fastball, and once we saw he couldn't throw his curve, then boom, we know we had him. Well, welcome to the major leagues, Payton Tolle. That's not to say that he can't be good, and that's not to say he can't help even in the postseason, because I still think if he adjusted, if he is able to throw another pitch decently, he can be a very valuable, if nothing else, reliever. But, I think that it's to answer your question, there's still some ways to go to figure out who is actually going to contribute when they make the postseason.
Can you clarify something? Is Connolly early eligible for the playoff roster?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so too. We got multiple texts and messages saying they're like, "Oh, he got called up after the fact." So I thought so. So
no, you got to be part of the organization.
Okay. Oh, so even Kyle Harrison, not that he would be on the postseason roster, but what did you make of Harrison's Red Sox debut yesterday?
Oh, it's good. I mean, the same thing. It's good. It's just you can't ignore the fact that that you get outs, you don't give up hits, you don't give up runs, and he's a guy who. I saw him in person a couple times down in Worcester, and you do notice, like, if fastball does jump, you see what they see in him. He does have major league experience, but I'll say it again. It seems like a short amount of time, these couple of weeks left of the season, but it's a long time in terms of figuring out exactly who is going to be hot, who is not going to be hot, who you're going to be able to rely on, and all of that. It is amazing, though, guys. Not only the Red Sox, how many teams are calling up these young players to say, all right, you know what, you're our savior. The Mets are doing it with 3 guys in their rotation. And one guy that did live that life, if you remember, I know that you guys rode the ride of the 2015 New York Magical Mets. And Steven Matz, he actually did it. He was dropped in the middle of nowhere in September. And
Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Wheeler.
And they started him? I don't remember that. They started him?
Yeah, they started him. So he got put in the rotation in early September, made, I think, 4 starts, and then he started in the NLDS, the NLCS, and the World Series.
How about that?
Yeah, so there you go.
Same track.
Can happen.
So, bigger picture, when they're because I feel like Cora yesterday was talking about Harrison very differently than he was talking about Early and Tolle leading into their first outings with the team. Harrison's wasn't a start, theirs were. So maybe I'm reading too much into that. Big picture, if they were going to power rank those 3, like what they believe out of those guys, how would you rank them based on your discussions?
Oh, man. It's a cop-out, but you got to have to get to the end of the year because we saw it with Payton Tolle. We were screaming and yelling about how this guy was the savior, and then all of a sudden the last 2 starts, I don't think people are saying that. And conversely, I don't think you should rule him out as being really good in the postseason. So I know that everyone is like riding the Conley early bandwagon right now, but I want to see him pitch again. Like I talked to a scout yesterday that said that that he really has to show that he can pitch inside. all right, well, if he doesn't pitch inside in the next couple of times he pitches, then he's going to get hit like Tolle got hit. But I think in pure stuff, I think you still look at Payton Tolle, and it's hard to ignore the pure stuff. I just feel like if he can just get that secondary pitch over the plate, then he could go on a pretty good run. So I'll go Tolle, early, Harrison.
It's been 7 games since Roman Anthony went down. The team is 3-4. Overall, how do you think the offense is going to be the rest of the way? And when also, I guess as an addition to that, Wilyer Abreu, how soon do you think we could see him?
Yeah, I think the Abreu thing's a little concerning, to answer that question first, where he just isn't able to, or hasn't been, just sprinting full out. Now he's running, and maybe they're slow playing it or whatever, but still, he is. I think I saw today that he had the best defensive rating of any right fielder in baseball. Like, we forget that. We forget how good this guy can be. So I think that the ideal is that you get him back. What do they get? They go to Tampa after this homestand. So maybe by then you get him going into the postseason. You don't want to rush. You don't want to. You guys know this. Sure. Tearing a calf muscle is never a good idea, right?
Right.
Coming back. So you don't want to do that. And so if you get him back by then, okay. In the meantime, the Yoshida thing, he's a lefty hitter. Like, people say, well, why you care so much about Yoshida? Well, he's a lefty hitter. They don't have a lot of lefty hitters. They don't have a lot of – so he has to be pretty good. Romy Gonzalez, you can't have it take a turn for the worse in terms of whatever the banged up his knee. So these guys who have been a little bit up and down, you have to get the best of them. I think I said it to you guys before when Alex Bregman came out and just said, we just got to keep doing what we've been doing. No, you got to be a little bit better. Everybody has to be a little bit better across the board. And I don't think they've done that enough during that, certainly in Arizona and certainly yesterday.
September, Red Sox Yankees. There's always high stakes to it. It's always a big series. What are the stakes this weekend?
I think it's pretty big series because that's a stupid statement. Of course, it's a big series, but it's first of all, it's going to be great. It's nice to have a series like this on the weekend at Fenway Park. Yankees, the Friday night thing is a good dynamic, so it's going to be great. But then the Red Sox have lined up their guys. They know how big a series it is. For me, it's the home field is so huge in the way that the whole playoff system is set up. To get the home field is just everything. Really is. It's so key. And they're very fortunate. They won the season series against the Yankees. But I will say this. When they came off the last series of the Yankees, everyone was crapping on the Yankees. Listen, the Yankees are as good as anybody. They are. They have flaws. They're just different flaws, but they're as good as anybody, and they could certainly win this series. So I just think you got to keep marching. And you look at you got to look at the schedule for both these teams. It's not easy, but it's not that hard either. It's just, I think for the Red Sox, it's pretty simple. You can beat anybody left, and you can go on a run in the postseason. You just, once again, have to get the best version of these guys that you've been relying on who have been playing better than the back of their baseball cards for the majority of the season. And most importantly, you have to get the best versions of Crochet, Giolito, and Bayo.
Okay. He's Rob Bradford every Thursday here on Jones and Keefe. He's brought to you by McFarland Energy. Bradfo, we appreciate the time. We'll put in our formal requests for the Baseball Isn't Boring hats, and we'll talk to you next week.
And by the way, guys, I talked to Boris. I'll be writing that up today about Bregman, so stay tuned.
Yeah, Kennedy had kind of an interesting answer about that this morning when he was asked on Greg's show. He said they were all surprised by the Jeff Passan report that Bregman was going to opt out. So interesting. Okay,
we'll have you know what?
We'll have our eyes out for that.
I almost pulled a hamstring. You know how he sits down? It was in Anaheim, and he sits down in that pit behind home plate.
Yeah, and you can see him sometimes with the camera.
Yeah, so if you're a reporter, you have to literally get on the ground to talk to him. And so I'm in like a catcher stance for a minute. I'm like, this isn't going to work. No. And then I go new school, one knee, right? Nice. So I'm one knee. And then I basically just sit on the ground.
I would have sat like Tony Pena back there. I would have the leg out. Like, that's what I'm doing.
All right, Bradfo. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. I'll see you. Bye.
Good stuff from Bradfo.